What up, sports fans? I'm Paulo Camacho from the Macho Sports Report.
I'm David DK Kim, aka The Heckler, from In the Ring with The Heckler.
And you're watching SecondHand Sports.
And this is just a collaboration between me and Paulo. We have our own YouTube channels. This is going to be our main one. We'll be coming out with probably once a week in this podcast form. And we should be a presence also on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and as well as YouTube. Our topics are probably going to be on a week-to-week basis. NBA,
NFL, Major League Baseball,
pro wrestling,
NHL even.
And we'll probably have a segment or two on things that not many people talk about, like, say, X Games or, Tour de France or maybe even bowling. I like bowling, I don't know.
Whatever basically fits our fancy as a second-hand sport. How about that? So, how about we get started? What do you want to start with?
First topic at hand. Did you want to start with NBA and free agency, or did you want to start with our Extreme Rules predictions?
Let's go with NBA free agency first.
I guess as the enemy of where I live, I should probably start first.
Yes, please.
If you can't tell by the Dodgers jersey, I am indeed a Lakers fan, and I am not what I would consider a faker fan, where I've been a fan since the 80s, since Magic and Kareem. So I've kind of deposited my Laker fandom into the bank, where I can emotionally pull it out years later, kind of like what's happening right now. But that's my background. I'm a Lakers fan, die-hard Lakers fan. Also, Paulo can contest or attest to, I probably view things differently than the average Laker fan, if I can put it that way. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm a pretty diehard Kings fan, and I'll admit,
good young team.
Yeah, a Fairweather Warriors fan, just because they're winning. Yeah, I'll admit it. It's fine. I know I'll get hate from the comments and from anybody else watching this. That's okay.
You could be worse. You could be a Clippers fan that's Fairweather Warriors fan.
Oh, that's true. Yikes. But anyway, so let's start with your Lakers and their landing of possibly the biggest free agent in, I don't know, modern NBA history?
Since Shaq.
Sure.
We'll say since Shaq.
LeBron James signed a, 4-year...
$154 million contract.
Yeah.
I think they signed it 2 days ago, because Friday was the first day officially.
Yeah.
And it's a 3+1. It's 3 guaranteed years, and then a player option for that 4th year where he can opt out and get his bird rights and re-sign to the max without having to hit the cap.
Mm-hmm. So, I guess I'll start.
What's your reaction to it? Because I feel like if I start first, we're never gonna get to what your reaction is, because it's gonna be a different topic once I start talking. I feel like
that's fair. My initial reaction was, honestly, I didn't see it coming. Personally, I truly believed that whatever everyone was saying about where LeBron was going to go, whether it was Boston or LA or back to Cleveland, I really thought he was going to go to Philly. The fact of the matter is, there's a young core there in Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons and Markelle Fultz, where he can still win games and win Eastern Conference titles with, while still molding a young roster as that superstar veteran that team I felt like needed in order to take their game to the next level. But at the end of the day, he signed with LA, and as much as I didn't want to believe it, when I really looked at it, it made perfect sense, because he wanted to build a legacy that was beyond Cleveland, beyond Miami, and really take his superstardom to this level of legendary. Not necessarily through his play, but definitely through his image. And at the end of the day, you can't really fault him for that. It's just, this is his. I feel like his third. How I want to say it, his third stage of his career.
His final act.
Quite possibly his final act. And yeah, you probably want to play it out in LA. But at the same time, I always thought that his decision to go anywhere would be on the precipice of winning championships. With that team, with Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, for now, just going down the line of players, Kyle Kuzma, it doesn't seem like it's not only a championship ready team, but even a playoff ready team. Don't forget, this team was 35-47, I believe, at the end of last regular season. He's gonna have to add at least 15 wins to that team,
at least,
in order to just make the Western Conference playoffs. But to be competitive against the Warriors, the Rockets, you can even throw the Spurs in there. And who else am I missing?
In the
Oklahoma
West,
City?
Oklahoma City is probably going to be. Denver's on the up and coming. You got Minnesota getting 1 year older.
You look at all of those teams in the Western Conference, and you wonder, why would you want to go through that? Why would you not want to go to the East, at least stay in the East, and get to the finals almost every year? You did it with Cleveland. You did it with Miami. You're 8 years running, reaching the finals. And now you go to the Western Conference in what is basically unknown territory. Why would you put yourself through this in what a lot of people are considering the twilight of your career? It makes no sense to me other than he just wants to play in LA and put himself in that pantheon of players like Magic Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, James Worthy, Kareem,
Kobe.
Kobe's always... That's a bad story. But yeah, just in that Mount Rushmore of players who played for the Los Angeles Lakers. And I don't know. At the end of the day, for me, it's still... Dude, you're not winning any championships there. I'm sorry. I don't know how, unless you can bring somebody else in, like, say, a Paul George, which isn't possible anymore. Trading for a Kawhi Leonard, which I still don't think is possible. Or, I don't know. I don't know who else they could possibly bring in, but I don't know. We'll see in the next 3 or 4 years if they can build a team that's championship ready. Right now, it's barely playoff ready. What do you think?
I'm going to respond 2 ways. The first response I'm going to give is from, like me as an NBA fan that's, like, rooting for the Lakers, but not like a disproportionate fandom guy. Okay, it's just going to be like a reasonable take from the outside looking in that kind of follows the Lakers. It makes total sense for LeBron to come to LA. The only other 2 places it would have made sense for him to come, to Philadelphia, but would have been to Boston or New York. Boston's pretty much already set in the way they're going to be with Brad Stevens and that kind of setup that they have. So I didn't see LeBron going there. He could have gone to the Knicks to resurrect their franchise, make them relevant again. And I feel like those 2 things are why he didn't go to Philadelphia. Philadelphia has already been resurrected. They've already been kind of reborn in that kind of like Phoenix, rise of the ashes type of thing. They're kind of already a newly made team in the way that Boston is. And so I feel like if LeBron goes there, he's going to be forever pigeonholed in that like mercenary role of like, okay, let's go to an already made team. Let me complete that as LeBron. And then let's see if we can win a championship with that. But, it makes sense when it comes to the Lakers because, like you said, Lakers only won 35 games last year. They were kind of like one level above a dumpster fire. They were really close to that fire, but they never actually jumped into the dumpster themselves. They just kind of like felt the ashes off to the side with the whole Kuzma and Ball disc track tape and all the nonsense that surrounds the Lakers at any given year. But if you're LeBron and your legacy, I mean, pretty much you're chasing Michael Jordan's ghost when it comes to being a player. Now, you could either stay in the East, continue going to finals with teams that aren't good enough to beat the Warriors. And no one's going to appreciate your greatness of getting to those finals because all they're going to bring up is 3-6 or 3-7 potentially against the Warriors, yada yada. Mm-hmm. But I almost agree with, who was it? It was either Colin Cowherd or one of those just loud guys that basically said, we forgive more not getting to the championship game than losing in the championship game. So him moving west is like fivefold. One, he can resurrect a storied franchise, one of the three greatest franchises in the NBA, and kind of restore it back to relevance, back to prominence, make it a place where free agents want to go, and kind of do that on his legacy. Plus, when he leaves, which is why I said the 3-1, he would leave the Lakers in a far better place than before he came, which is 35 wins or less. But secretly, what everyone doesn't want to even admit, even a little bit admit, is that Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, and for the most part Kuzma, they were injured last year. They missed, a combined 30, 40, 50 games altogether. Yet they still won 35 games because they kind of gelled together and got hot at the right time. So if they're all healthy, technically you're adding LeBron to almost a 40-win team in the West, which if you added 15 would get him up to about 55, 57 wins, which would be enough to potentially get a 6th seed or a 5th seed or somewhere in that range. So it makes total sense. Plus, if he brings the Lakers to the playoffs, win or lose, and brings free agency to the like championship caliber free agents, I feel like his legacy changes after he retires, after being a Laker, because he brought one of the franchises, the NBA great franchises, back to prominence before he retired. And then you can almost view him as like a different type of equal to Michael. Michael couldn't really do that to the Wizards. I know the Wizards didn't really have that big, huge, long history.
Plus he was 38.
Plus he was 38 and he retired, retired. So,
yeah.
But what I'm saying is he will have done something that maybe Michael hasn't done or anybody else, maybe aside from a Kareem has ever done, kind of go somewhere, or even Shaq, go somewhere late, kind of help build a championship franchise. That's the level-headed person in me. Help them grow, teach everyone, nurture the young kids, bring the veterans in, because they can play defense, Stevenson and McGee and all those. If you can't outshoot the Warriors, maybe you can kind of push them out of position and all that.
It's possible.
Now, having said that, as a lifelong Laker fan, and someone who's not necessarily the biggest fan of Kobe Bryant as a Laker because of the things he did when it comes to ego and selfishness and me-first attitude, it's kind of almost parallel to what LeBron does, but in a nicer, I'm going to put a smile on my face and everyone's going to love me, not like Kobe kind of way. But if you analyze the 15 years of LeBron, it's LeBron makes the offense turn into LeBron offense. Everyone becomes spot-up shooter. Kevin Love goes from a double-double all-star to an ineffective three-point shooter. Chris Bosh goes from a dynamic, stretch four type of player into a spot-up shooter. Kyrie Irving goes from one of the duos to leader to dagger shot for LeBron's one championship, or out of the three. Demands to be traded. We find out today or yesterday that he didn't even want LeBron to come back to Cleveland.
Yeah, he didn't.
Trade away Anthony Wiggins.
Andrew Wiggins.
Andrew Wiggins. My point is, the Lakers have a young core of Hart, Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Kuzma. I'll even throw Zubac in there. I know he hasn't been very effective, but they re-signed him for a reason. They're young, they're dynamic, and they run the type of offense that is basically happening now in the NBA. Fast, running gun, get as many offensive possessions as you can, and be efficient at it. And Lonzo, yeah, he shoots 30% from three in the field. First year in LA, Tinseltown, your hometown.
Right.
He still averaged 10, 7, and 7. That's still better than mostly, a good handful of other rookies. Now here's my fear. As the second Laker fan, where my fandom comes from. I've always said I'm down for LeBron to come to LA if something happens. My friend Duran Tyler, DT. Mm-hmm. God bless you, DT. He played ball at K-State. He's a great basketball player, football player. He nails it right on the head in a Facebook debate that all of our friends kind of got into. If LeBron can come to LA, play off the ball, and learn to play within a semblance of an offense, Luke Walton's offense, which is in derivative Phil Jackson's offense, basically triangle type of offense, then I embrace you with both arms, and I love you, and I will call you the king. You know what I mean? But, like a leopard can't change his spots, can't teach an old dog new tricks. We've learned, we've seen, there's evidence everywhere. Once LeBron, always LeBron.
See, I think the best analogy in my sense would probably be if LeBron for some reason decided to go to the Sacramento Kings. As crazy as that sounds,
he would trade everyone on that roster for 4 aging veterans and a Kyle Korver.
Yeah, pretty much. That's kind of LeBron's MO. You look through his history after leaving Cleveland. Goes to Miami. Who's he bring in? Chris Bosh. Already has Dwayne Wade there. And because of the salary cap, because of, contracts and all of these big things, they're limited in the kinds of weapons that they can get.
Ray Allen is not sitting out there in the NBA waiting to sign with LeBron. He's not coming through that door. Mike Miller is not hard up for a job out there anymore looking to... You know what I mean? Like, I just don't want to trade Lonzo and B.I. and Kuzma and let go of Luke Walton with the crazy rumor I heard about Phil Jackson coming on contact. Is the 3 years or 4 years or even 6 years of 50-plus wins and playoffs with 1 to 0, most likely 0 championships worth throwing away the next 20 years of your franchise? But just ask Cleveland.
But here, see, this is the
just
thing.
ask Cleveland.
Okay. Let me just jump in here and play devil's advocate because I'm not saying you're wrong.
Please.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Because I need to calm down, like whatever. Give me the NBA Paulo Camacho version of Valium so that I will calm down.
See, what the Lakers understand is by bringing in LeBron James and by possibly doing the things that you're afraid they're going to do, they're basically telling their fan base, we are not going to stand by and wait for 4 or 5 or 6 years while we basically watch these kids develop into possibly a playoff team, possibly a championship team. Who knows what this could be? Let me finish.
I'm not going to say anything. Go ahead.
The fact is, if they bring in LeBron, and they're going to bring in, say, I don't know, Kawhi Leonard in a trade for B.I. and Lonzo Ball and maybe a draft pick or two. I know. They're basically saying, we're not playing around anymore. We understand that this fan base deserves so much better than what we've given them for the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 years with Kobe in his last throes of stardom, the Lakers basically a fringe playoff team and now having plunged into the NBA lottery. They don't want to see that again. Not under Magic Johnson. Not under Phil Jackson. Not under this superstar front office that needs to see a big shot in the arm for a team that defines the NBA as glitz, glamour, and Tinseltown. They have LeBron James. They probably need another superstar. And they need to start winning championships again. Or at the very least, putting themselves in the playoff picture to where you could say, yeah, that team might be able to win in the playoffs. They might be able to get to the NBA Finals because they're the Los Angeles Lakers. And don't you forget it.
I agree with everything that you just said. Everything. And if that happens, that's what I want, right? But the only way that happens is if LeBron can show the rest of free agency and the world that he's not the alpha male a-hole that everyone perceives him to be, and that he can change so that he can actually welcome a sidekick without having them feel like a goddamn child. Kyrie Irving. Anybody else? I mean, so here's the thing. And it's always been like this. If at the end, right? At the end of his 4 years or however many years, 5, 6, I'm guessing if it goes longer than 4 years, it's going to be a 3-year extension. So we'll have 6, 7 years at the most of LeBron. If at the end of 7 years, even without any championships, not even making it to the finals, like without any titles to show for it, at the end of those 7 years, if the Lakers become a destination place for top-tier free agents because they were convinced from afar that the Lakers still knew how to treat a top-tier guy like LeBron, cool. That doesn't harm the future of the franchise. That doesn't set us back for 10 years, 15 years, whatever the case may be. But at the end of 7 years, if this team is nothing more than Kyle Kuzma surrounded by Lance Stevensons and JaVale McGee's and Rajon Rondos of the NBA for those 6 years, because we traded away Zoe and B.I. and Hart and Zubac and whoever it is and let go of Walton and got this aging coach, whoever it may be, because LeBron's more comfortable that way. I'm not on board. I'm so not on board for that. Because, like you just said, we're the Lakers. They're the Lakers. I mean, I don't advocate we and me and us and everything, but F it. All right? As talking as a Laker fan, we're the Lakers. We don't need LeBron. I mean, sure, it looks like we need LeBron because they've been irrelevant for 9 years, almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
Some franchises have never been to the NBA Finals. The Clippers have never made it out of the second round. 10 years is a luxury for some fan bases. But because we're the Lakers and the Laker fans and 16 championships and 34 appearances and us and the Celtics have more than 60% of the appearances in the NBA Finals, I feel like even now, even without them making the finals for the last 10 years, you need us, not the other way around. Like, he came for a reason. Magic is here. He is the poster child for post-NBA entrepreneur success as a business person and succeeding in such. He's minority owner of the Dodgers. General partner, executive president, whatever, of the Lakers. He had to sell his theater thing because it was Magic Johnson Enterprises. Like, he is the epitome of what you want to be after your NBA career is done. So he came there. Great. I'm hoping that because he idolizes Magic so much, that maybe Magic can get into his brain. And at the All-Star break this next coming year, hopefully it's the same team that I recognize with Lance Stevenson and JaVale McGee and Rondo and LeBron. And don't trade for Kawhi. I would love to have Kawhi. He'd be great to have next to LeBron, running the point.
If he's healthy.
If he's healthy, running on the other side of Kuzma with the point, going, bringing up the ball. Zoe. Great, I want that. But I'm not trading frickin' any two combinations of Zoe, Brandon Ingram, and Kuzma along with 2 first-round picks. No. You need this trade. The Spurs need the trade.
Can I interject about Kawhi Leonard? Here's the thing. I am a huge fan of Kawhi Leonard.
Damian Lillard.
I love Kawhi Leonard for one of the reasons is I went to San Diego State and I watched him play live when he went to the Sweet 16 and, he took San Diego State to national prominence at the time. I honestly believe that he should have been taken 7th overall of the Kings, but the Kings front office was dumb enough to think that Jimmy Fredette was the wave of the future. And yeah, I'm still bitter about that.
If you take a step back from all that, the 3-point shooting, he was technically the wave of the future, just not for your Kings.
Fine, but that's beside the point.
I'm just so mad.
My point is, the thing about Kawhi Leonard now is I wouldn't even trade him if I were the Lakers for Lance Stevenson or Rajon Rondo or JaVale McGee if they offered it. You know why?
How healthy he is.
It's not even the health issue. It's the fact that he was so adamant to not play at all towards the end of the season. I question his heart. I question his drive. I question his instinct to be a basketball player at this point in his career.
You know what? Wow. Never thought about that. I totally agree. On a side note, though, isn't it ironic that the team that happened to is the Spurs, who routinely thumb their nose at the NBA, and they're like, well, I don't care that we're the marquee NBA game of the week. I'm sitting my 3-star players because that's when I rest them.
Yeah.
And you can't argue with that, the snobbery. So while I totally 100% agree, I just think it's funny that it happened to the Spurs that way, where the player was like, well, I know you think I'm healthy enough to play, but it is my career.
Yeah.
But I agree. Like, I totally 100% agree with that. It's kind of how I feel about Paul. This is how I always have felt about Paul George, okay? Before anybody comments about like, oh, you didn't get him, so now of course you don't want him. No. I've always agreed with Kobe on one thing. It's a different mentality to be a Laker. To come and play as a Laker. To get drafted by a Lakers. To want to be a free agent that goes to LA. It's a different mentality, especially if you're a superstar, an all-star. And if you don't want to come to LA, like if you feel like that's not, it's too difficult for you to deal, to all the stuff to deal with, that kind of thing, I don't want you here. That's a horrible mentality. You're a loser. Like, we don't want losers in LA. Give us winners. You know what I mean? And you know what I would trade Zoe and B.I. for? Damian Lillard and whoever they want to throw in for cap considerations. You know why? And this is totally selfish. It's not that I don't want to trade Brandon Ingram to the Spurs or trade Brandon Ingram for Kawhi Leonard. I just don't want to trade him to the Spurs. Because if Popovich has 1 or 2 or however many years left, he will turn that boy into a 25-10 all-star. We will see Tim Duncan version 2.0 come out of there. And I can't have Brandon Ingram destroying my Lakers for 15 years down in the low post after finally getting Tim Duncan to retire.
I feel you. I understand that.
And if he goes to Portland, they're going to mismanage him anyway, and we might get to sign him again in 3 years. Who knows, right? Like,
yeah. Because just take a look at LaMarcus Aldridge if you really want any proof of that.
That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's really it. Like, it's selfish reasons. Like, I would totally take Kawhi. Pair him next to whatever, have Rondo run the point if need be. But I just don't... It's like if you're a Spurs fan, you don't want to help build the super team for the Lakers. As a Laker fan, I don't want to give you 5 pieces of assets like with a freaking Nets and you're the Celtics, and for the next 10 years you just own our draft picks, and they become Jason Tatum and all the things. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, like I said, I'm sorry. Once I started talking about LeBron and Lakers, we'll get off the rails. Really quickly though, should we hit up like the Bulls matched the offer sheet that the Kings give out for Levine?
Yeah, I always saw that as a weird way of going about free agency. Look, I'm a Kings defender till the end, even though it just sounds foolish to everyone. But signing Levine to a 4-year, $78 million deal with that bad knee and with almost no one else to negotiate with, I honestly believed was kind of risky at best. And I'm going to be honest, I was really hoping the Bulls would match.
And they did.
And they did. So, good for the Bulls that they got their guy back. And I understand that there were some Kings fans out there that wanted Levine as a 22. No, but that's the thing. 22-year-old who at his best could jump out of the gym, give you some really good minutes as an athletic 3/2/4.
You guys already have that. His name is Buddy Hield. Just wait until he's healthy.
No, but see, what you just said was probably 99% of the fan base. So, honestly, I think it worked out well for everyone.
That's true.
The Bulls got Levine back because he was griping about how much the market wasn't really going for him, and especially the Bulls. It's like, I just wanted to feel wanted somewhere.
It's one of those times where a team offered, another team responded, and everyone still won.
Pretty much. It's like the Kings didn't get a free agent, but at this point, I'm okay with that. You know why? Because at this point, all I know is they're not going to do much in free agency that will do anything to give them more wins. That's okay with me. If they go 22-60 or 23-59, yeah, we're going to miss out on that draft pick. But at the end of the day, I want to see what that young core of De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, Bogdan Bogdanovic.
I spelled this right?
Harry Giles, and Marvin Bagley.
I spelled that right?
Yes, you did. I want to see what those kids can do on the floor every night. And if they take their lumps, good.
I wish I could
How do you deal with that adversity? I want to see that with this young team.
I wish I could zoom in on this, but this says believe in Bagley. Trust me, I saw him at Duke. He's going to develop into one of those athletic stretch point forward type of guys that can change the game on defense. Chase down block, outlet pass. Like it's going to be wild.
Yeah, that all Duke front court with Bagley and Giles is going to be scary in 2 or 3 years. Just watch. But the thing is, they need to have the chance to gel together. So getting anybody in free agency that might steal that spotlight from them is a terrible idea. So, with that said, do you want to move on, or do you have anything else to say about it?
My last point on NBA free agency, and I've said enough about the Lakers. I'll maybe next week I'll say something if I remember. But for everyone freaking out right now about the last 2 summers, was it the last 2 summers when Durant signed 2 years? Was it 2 years ago? 3 years ago.
3 years ago. Well, no, wait. 2016.
Including this summer, it'd be 3 summers, right?
2 summers ago was when.
Anyway, starting with Durant signing with the Warriors. I mean, I know a lot of you that watch the YouTube. You guys aren't old enough to remember maybe the 70s and 80s. I remember the 80s. I don't remember 70s. Sorry, I was born in 78. But just because the Lakers and the Celtics didn't necessarily buy an all-star on free agency because it was harder to do back then, those teams were super teams. If you forget, the Celtics really only drafted Larry Bird. McHale came from free agency. Parrish came from free agency. Parrish used to be a Bull. Dennis Johnson, I think, was either drafted or free agency, I'm pretty sure. Casey Jones, Danny Ainge. They were all All-Stars or all NBA players. Magic, Kareem, Byron Scott, James Worthy, Michael Cooper. They only drafted Magic and Worthy. I mean, they got Byron Scott through trades. When he wasn't an All-Star yet. But, I mean, the Bulls, I know. Michael made everybody. But they had Tony Kukoc, who was the Michael Jordan of Europe. Like, you can't tell me that he did it by himself when he had a version of him from Europe on his team. And then the second thing, and the person closest to him in the league, in Pippen, also on his team. And then his one main antagonist, the second three-peat, Rodman. These are all super teams. No one complained back then. You know why no one complained back then?
Because of free agency.
And your favorite teams were the ones with the super teams. Calm down.
Does that sound familiar? Chicago Bulls.
Like
Boston Celtics.
Right?
Los Angeles Lakers.
Knicks.
They were all super teams. But no one complained because...
It wasn't the Warriors. It wasn't like the Kings. It wasn't like the Timberwolves. It
wasn't the Jazz.
Things like that, bro. Like, you guys have to all calm down. Because, like, we've seen it before. It's happened before. It's called dynasties. I know this new age of everyone's got to feel, we're hurt because our teams aren't good.
And you take it out on DeMarcus Cousins for wanting to sign a
that was gonna be the bow on the point was DeMarcus can't even play till April, May, or June. And you guys are mad about that. They were the only ones with the luxury of having to be able to sign someone on the mid-level exception that they didn't need for the whole NBA season. No one else can afford that or have the luxury of having that because they didn't draft as well as they did. And if your team is good, also, you know what? We're wearing these. I'll go one step further. I freaking hate the Giants, even more than I live up here. But I can't hate players during that 3 years, the even and odd thing, where you guys won 3 championships in the even years. I can't get mad at free agents for signing a 1-year deal with the Giants. Or when someone like a Cody Ross, or a Pat Burrell, or whatever,
Marco
Scudero, whoever gets either traded at the deadline for nothing, or they come off the heap and their reclamation project. You can't get mad at that. Why would you want to sign with a bad team for a lot of money? Wouldn't you rather sign for a good team for a reasonable amount of money because you want to win? What have we all been saying it since the Alex Rodriguez days when he signed that ridiculous contract with the Rangers? Dang it, Paulo. No one wants to win anymore. It's all about the money. I can't believe these athletes now. So, priorities. And then what happens when Durant signs to win?
Oh my God. He just wants the front run. He joined a 73-win team. How dare he? Where is competition anymore?
Right? That was perfect. You sounded exactly like the internet.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyway, that's my thing. As a Laker fan, good. Sign Cousins. Sign everyone. Soon you'll run out of money. That's what happens to good teams. Mm-hmm. That's what dynasties end. You can't pay everybody. And then someone like Klay Thompson can come back home.
Oh, God.
Anyway, sorry. Sorry.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Now, let's move on, shall we?
Something a little bit more scripted. Wait, less?
More. No. Wait. Professional wrestling. Yes.
When you start at step 1, you don't even care about press passes. So, like, Adam Silver's not even watching that. So, like, whatever. Anyway, WWE. That's probably more of our wheelhouse anyway of the podcast.
Yeah.
Extreme Rules is coming up. That's, I believe, a blue brand pay-per-view, SmackDown. And then around the corner is another Raw pay-per-view, or is it SummerSlam?
I believe that, at this point, there's no such thing as branded pay-per-views.
All right.
Like, it's all...
For the sake of this podcast, and those that watch wrestling on a lesser degree than the both of us...
Right.
This one technically is a SmackDown right?
All right, that's fine.
Is there people from Raw on the Extreme Rules?
Honestly, I don't know. I'll be honest. I haven't been following the wrestling as of late, but that doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm talking about here. Because what is the lineup for Extreme Rules? Do you know?
I don't know. Let's see if I can bring this up on my phone without ruining the audio recording that we have going on here. I bet if I just close it, that'd be fine. Maybe. It's still recording? Yes, it is. Okay. WWE.
This will all get edited.
Extreme Rules match card. This is not what you see.
Yeah. You are not actually watching.
By the way, that totally might be what he uses to like cut. So oh my god.
It's like, oh no.
All right, so 19 hours ago, Cage Side Seats has the match card and rumors. So this is about as close as you get, I guess, without having it being like 24 hours until the pay-per-view, which is July 15th. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through the matches, and we'll give our predictions, take a little bit of time on why we think what's going to happen is going to happen, and then we can talk about maybe some sort of
we'll make this
internet punishment type of thing.
Oh, I don't really want to get to that yet.
I'm just talking about like wearing different teams' attires and stuff, not eating anything.
But let's at least do a quick run through.
Run another card, okay.
And our predictions for each match. So, first up.
So we'll start on the bottom here since it's going to be the. All right. So first off, we have Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin. Most likely in the pre-show.
Yeah.
I hope Finn Balor wins. But
see, here's my thing about Baron Corbin. They're building up his character actually pretty well. What is it, Constable Corbin now?
Yeah.
And
it's his most entertaining run since the very beginning of that lone wolf character where he was in NXT and then he transferred to the main roster.
Honestly, that works for me because at this point in his career, he needs to prove that he is a valuable asset to the WWE in more than one.
This is Baron Corbin.
This is Baron Corbin.
Okay.
And like with the way that he's been doing the Constable Corbin bit, it seems to me that I wouldn't mind seeing Corbin beat Finn Balor, even though at the end of the day, Finn Balor needs more wins, man.
You know what I keep thinking? Like, and I just can't help but always go back to this. What would have happened if Finn Balor never tore his labrum? If he could have beaten Seth Rollins without tearing his labrum and had actually been given the Universal title run.
Well, you can take out most of Kevin Owens' run.
And I would even venture to say that with the momentum that he had, Brock Lesnar doesn't re-sign with WWE because he doesn't get a shot at the title.
Oof.
I mean, he gets a match, but I don't think he gets the chance to be the face of the Universal Championship.
And what really is a shame is we'll never
know.
see it.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
Never know.
Because at this point in his career, he's kind of overlooked, and there's a good chance.
And that was what, 2 years ago?
2 years, I'd say.
Even that?
If that, yeah. I would say that at this point in his career, I'm really scared that creative has nothing for him, and they might release him soon.
I don't know.
It was a distinct possibility for a little while there.
So I hope that Finn Balor wins because I feel like Baron Corbin, win or lose, is over enough with the Constable Corbin that if they book the match to end in a way where Finn Balor wins in like like a me against the world type of match where he's being dominated, but at the end of the match, Corbin kind of beats the heck out of him to kind of maybe prolong the feud to like a main card of a pay-per-view.
Giving himself more heat.
Yeah, plus who else? I mean, they don't got anything to do with Finn Balor. So might as well have him steal a win, Corbin get mad, beat him up, and continue the feud up through SummerSlam. Otherwise, I can't see him, and by him I mean Finn Balor, getting into another feud so close to SummerSlam with anyone that we're going to care about besides Corbin at this point.
Okay. All right, let's move on. Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley. Oh, my God.
Let's see. This says they have not specified if the winner will receive a shot at Brock Lesnar in the Universal Championship, but just that they both needed a match for the show and they're starting up a feud, so they're doing it.
Yeah, that's definitely what this feels like because.
So Roman Reigns wins then?
Yeah.
I mean,
look, I would love to convince myself. No,
I can do like this from topic 1 to this topic. It just master of melding. LeBron's LeBron. Roman Reigns is Roman Reigns. He can't change his colors. Vince McMahon loves him. He's gonna win.
He's the man. He's the guy. And of course he's gonna win because look, it's not just the fact that it's Roman Reigns. It's that Bobby Lashley, for better or worse, has not been able to get the crowd at all. And putting him with one of the most booed superstars might get Bobby Lashley a little more sympathy as a character.
So I have a Vince McMahon conspiracy theory way of looking at this.
Okay.
You could say that after Bobby Lashley's run in TNA, that he kind of became the face of TNA, the new generation of TNA, right? Mm-hmm. What has Vince McMahon done to everybody that's been the face of some other company, either because they had to leave WWF/WWE, or decided to never come in their prime because they were said face of some other company? Let's say
with the lone exception of AJ Styles.
With the lone, but he had to do a program where he was fighting against the authority and oppression of him being too small and the outsider before he got that run. And the fans loved him. Otherwise, if the fans found him in that little 3-month program that they had, he gets buried.
Yeah.
So Bobby Lashley, while he's probably the one that needs the win for his credibility, I can see Roman Reigns getting over cleanly.
Yeah, and no one's gonna like it. I guarantee you, no one's gonna like it.
No matter who wins, no one's gonna like it.
Yeah, this was a match that nobody needed to see, but WWE felt the need to actually make.
This was what was that match a couple pay-per-views ago? The Great Khali versus Roman Reigns, right? No, right?
It was.
But it was something like that.
It was something like that. Oh my god!
Where it was like Randy Orton.
Right, yeah.
Where everyone's watching it like, we're watching it because, well, we're watching it, but why are we watching it? What are we watching? What? Oh my god, like our lives are over.
Okay, let's move on to Jeff Hardy versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the U.S. Championship. See, here's my thing. Shinsuke has to win this, right? Because look, they've built him up as this hateable heel for so long, and they've denied him a championship. They actually have something good with Shinsuke Nakamura as a heel. You have to give him the championship, right?
Hardy's injured, right?
Oh, I don't know. Is he?
I thought he was, but that might be some other guy. It doesn't say it here. It just says Nakamura was bit by a dog, so they had to keep him off the show last week.
Oh.
Gosh, I could just see the internet with jokes on that one. But, I mean, you give Shinsuke the win because A, he deserves it, but B, Jeff Hardy is one of those guys where he can absorb that loss, and it won't kind of affect his popularity or his merch sales.
I don't know. Yeah, you're right. You're probably right. I mean, let's just say I'm just gonna go with Nakamura.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just really quick recapping here. Oh wait, we'll recap after we talk about the rest of these. The next one is the Intercontinental Championship. Champion Dolph Ziggler, who beat Seth Rollins a couple weeks ago, I believe, in his open challenge, and Seth Rollins. It'll be a Iron Man match, it says, only in the 30-minute variety, though. Can it really be an Iron Man match? Can you call...
Yes, you can, because Sasha Banks and Charlotte did it, and Sasha Banks and Bayley did it, and... look, I know those were Iron Woman matches, but...
They literally coined the term Iron Woman matches during those matches.
No, but they call them 30-minute Iron Woman matches. Look... Let's just. I'll say this.
How long is a normal match on like regular SmackDown or like a main event of like SmackDown, or not main event, but an Intercontinental Championship match that would be on the card? What would you say, about 20 minutes?
Yeah, probably.
All right, I guess it's longer than the normal standard match then.
That's fine. Look, I'll just say this. It'll be tied going into the final couple minutes. Of course it will.
But Drew McIntyre's gonna turn on Dolph Ziggler.
No. Drew McIntyre's gonna help Dolph Ziggler. There's no reason to turn Drew McIntyre now.
I didn't mean in the traditional sense where he turns good. I mean like he's gonna like interfere to help, but like he's like being smarmy about it because like, oh, you don't appreciate my help type of thing, and like he's distracted enough to like, you know, like you can see the cracks in the foundation of their friendship type of thing, like not necessarily like...
I suppose. But I still think that Dolph retains, as much as I'd like to... Alright, hold on a second.
Hey, we're heading to dinner, but you're presently.
I can just wear it here if you want to move it.
Okay.
Do you know how much longer you're going to be?
It's like 5 minutes.
Okay, do you mind... I mean, we could wait 5 minutes.
Okay.
Or, hey, can I just move the party over, please?
Yeah.
And, hey, we might just go first. You want to do this there?
Just over at the... Okay.
Is
Yeah.
that okay?
I'll meet you there. Okay.
I feel like if this was like a SummerSlam match or a WrestleMania match or whatever it is, you would have had the last 2 weeks of the Dolph Drew McIntyre maybe like cracks, and then it would be like a triple threat match, and then there would be the added element. But I don't know. It should be 60 minutes. I'm sorry, it should be 60 minutes.
Fine. I'll just say Dolph retains. What do you think?
I feel like Dolph retains because I feel like they have bigger, better things for Seth, like the creative world that they have, but I don't know what it might be.
Yeah.
But I feel like that this feud might be done because I really feel like they're going to do heel on heel between McIntyre and Dolph to put McIntyre over as the IC champion.
It's
because
possible.
I think Vince...
I mean, his love for big guys
I was going to say, as the one... what is it? What culture video said? Vince likes big
sweaty men.
Yeah. And Drew McIntyre's he fits the bill.
All right, let's rush through these last few because I gotta go.
Dolph Ziggler, yeah.
The Leaders of Worlds versus the B Team for the Raw Tag Team Championship.
What?
Yeah, I know, right? You know what? I'm going to go with the B Team because I feel like they got a decent enough push for their gimmick that it's time to end the Leaders of Worlds as the tag team champions.
I agree. I believe the B Team, they also win because I kind of heard a rumor somewhere that the Leaders of Worlds are going to drop the title. But I hope that they go with what one person in the comments was hoping, that the B Team turns into kind of this generation's new age outlaws, in that if you can turn up the sarcasm and turn down the goofiness a little bit and have them more be just kind of dictating to the crowd that they're not cool, like they could, I think, make that leap into being useful instead of just comedy fodder. I mean, they They are on Extreme Rules, so I mean, how bad can it be, right?
Right. Okay.
B team.
Moving on. Bludgeon Brothers versus Team Hell No. See, I would love to say Team Hell No in this sense, but like we've seen this before, guys. We've seen it before. And the Bludgeon Brothers are still being built up as the tag team in the division.
So who are you picking?
I'm picking Bludgeon Brothers.
I'm going to pick Team Hell No, but like this. Kane is going to try to turn on Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan's going to thwart that turn. Or Kane's going to leave. Something's going to happen where it's like he's like handicap match type of thing.
3-on-1.
Like a 2.5 on 1. Like he's not on their side, but and then Bryan pins one of the Bludgeon Brothers. So now Team Hell No is champions with the Strife, and then they drop it at a SummerSlam to the Bludgeon Brothers because they can't be. And then from there on out, you have an automatic one-on-one feud with Daniel Bryan that you know that Kane's gonna be safe with him, and then the crowd can get behind.
Okay.
Even though it's like part 3 of the same thing.
All right. So Carmella versus Asuka for the SmackDown Women's Championship. They're gonna figure out a way to keep the belt on Carmella.
I was gonna say, I feel like everyone and their mother wants Asuka to win because she deserves to win. She should win. But like Paulo just said, I feel like in the end, they're somehow James Ellsworth maybe, or they debut the Japanese girl to distract Asuka.
It's possible.
Kairi Sane makes her debut on the main roster type of thing.
I'll say this. I want Carmella to actually look good in a match instead of screaming her head off for basically 3/4 of a title match. I'd love to see that. I just don't know if she has the skills for it.
Bet we all wish Big Cass and Enzo Amore be still a tag team, huh?
Ugh, God.
I know I do.
Yeah, so do I. Anyway.
Is this second to last match?
Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax for the Raw Women's Championship. Now, I've heard that there's actual heat between these former best friends. Besides that...
I don't care anymore.
Yeah, really, I don't care. Guys, you ruined this after the whole... Nia Jax versus Ronda Rousey thing.
That's what it was.
Like, you threw Ronda Rousey in as what's the word that I'm looking for?
Cannon fodder?
Not just cannon fodder, but...
window dressing?
Hold on.
She wasn't the main course. I'm just trying to figure out ways to describe window dressing at
right.
this point.
She was basically...
An insult to our intelligence.
She was basically used as a plot device to get back to this rivalry.
Insult to our intelligence.
It was not only insulting, it was wrong. It was just wrong. Don't do that to somebody as popular as Ronda Rousey. Look, I honestly don't care who wins, even though I'm thinking Alexa probably wins this.
And you know what hurts the most? Nia Jax.
Yeah.
Because where Nia Jax was she was anti-bully. The WWE universe, was behind her. We hated Alexa, not the person, but the character. Mm-hmm. You had everything going your way, including the funny vignettes of Alexa Bliss trying to, shame Nia Jax of this is what I saw, and you ruined all that. Just through your hands, and this is why we complain all the time, we can't enjoy good things.
Yeah. All right.
Last but not least, I think Nia Jax wins in a match no one cares about.
Last but not least, AJ Styles versus Rusev. I would love to see Rusev win this.
Rusev Day!
Oh my God. Rusev Machka! It would probably be the best thing for everyone to see Rusev win, despite the fact that AJ Styles will probably win this match.
I think when I said that the B-side team, whatever wins, I only picked them because I knew that either them or Rusev was going to win in Extreme Rules, and they're not gonna give them. You know what? I bet you anything we get the most closest false finish that we've seen in a couple of years
because AJ Styles is capable of it.
To get the emotion running. I want Rusev to win because. Can you imagine SmackDown, that next SmackDown, how loud the Rusev Day chants are going to go? Well, I think what really happens is Rusev on the verge of winning gets double-crossed by Aiden English, and they feud.
Or, who has the Money in the Bank title? The
Braun Strowman. Braun
What-
Strowman?
Let's just play around with this. What if Braun Strowman just comes in like before the end of the match and says, "You know what? I'm gonna go for the WWE title, even though I'm a Raw guy. It's like I'm gonna go for this WWE title."
What if he goes for both titles? It's Braun Strowman.
It's possible.
Are you going to stop him?
Like the implications of that would be very, very interesting.
Well, that would only be if they were tired of the two-brand thing and they were trying to like consolidate the championship again and get rid of the Universal title.
Yeah.
In which case, they would have to admit that they failed with the Universal title and with the brand split and banking on Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Anyway, you were really entertaining pushing around Daniel Cormier. That was cool.
Yeah.
With everyone laughing and no one believing that was real.
Hey, but you know what? Get your money.
But yet CM Punk. Anyway, I'm not going to go there.
Let's not. All right. I guess that's all we got for you this week. And
That's episode 1.
episode of 1 in the books.
It'll be a little tighter next time, probably.
Yeah. We'll plan this out a little better for next week. But until next time.
That's true. And next time, I'm pretty sure I'll have my thoughts on the Dodgers and the trade deadline because it's coming soon.
Yeah, I'll probably have my thoughts on what the Giants are apparently starting to do. Hold on, one second. I'm coming. I swear to God, I'm coming. I know. Okay, I'll be out in like 2. Okay. Let's take 2 on that. Where was I?
Next week.
Let's start from there. Till next time. I guess you wanted to talk about.
Next time I'll be talking about my Dodgers because the trade deadline's coming up about a week after that. Let's see if we got Manny Machado or Mike Fulmer or anybody that they're rumored to get.
And I'll talk about my Giants, probably, and we'll see if they've done anything to either improve their team or just keep them going on the course of around 500 toward the end of the season.
If you give us Posey, we'll give you some prospects.
No, it's not happening. All right, until next time, you've been watching Secondhand Sports with me, Paulo Camacho of the Macho Sports Report, and
David DK Kim from In the Ring with the Heckler.
We'll see you next time. Out!
I feel like we got the foundations of something good.
Yeah, I think so.
So that's what it looked like recording? Okay, good.